wondered how a company founded in 1993 to improve video game graphics turned into a titan of 21st century AI.
If you want to do extraordinary things, it shouldn't be easy.
Nvidia, a chip maker based in the US. For the first time ever, Nvidia has become the most valuable company in the world.
In the fast-paced world of tech, giants can fall as quickly as they rise. Nvidia, once the undisputed king of graphics and AI chips, now faces challenges that could shake its very foundation. From fierce competition to partner disputes, the shadows are lengthening over this Silicon Valley powerhouse. But is this the beginning of the end, or just another hurdle for Nvidia to overcome? The rise of Nvidia, from graphics pioneer to AI powerhouse. From its humble beginnings as a graphics card maker to its current status as an AI powerhouse, Nvidia's journey is nothing short of remarkable. But how did this transformation happen? And what does it mean for the future of computing? Nvidia's story begins in 1993 when three friends, Jensen Huang, Chris Malachowsky, and Curtis Priem, founded the company with a vision to revolutionize computer graphics. At the time, PCs were primarily used for word processing and simple tasks. The founders saw an opportunity to bring high-quality graphics, previously only possible on expensive workstations, to everyday computers. Their first big break came in 1995 with the release of the NV1, Nvidia's first graphics processing unit, or GPU. While it wasn't an immediate success, it laid the groundwork for future innovations. The real game changer arrived in 1999 with the GeForce 256, marketed as the world's first GPU. This chip could handle complex 3D calculations, freeing up the computer's main processor for other tasks. Gamers loved it, and Nvidia quickly became a favorite among PC enthusiasts. Throughout the 2000s, Nvidia continued to dominate the gaming GPU market, competing fiercely with rivals like ATI, later acquired by AMD. They introduced features like SLI, which allowed users to link multiple GPUs for better performance, and PhysSX, which improved in-game physics simulations. These innovations kept Nvidia at the forefront of the gaming industry. But the real turning point for Nvidia came in the early 2010s, when researchers discovered that GPUs were excellent at handling the complex calculations needed for machine learning and artificial intelligence. This realization opened up a whole new world of possibilities for Nvidia. In 2012, Nvidia released the Kepler architecture, which proved to be a game changer for AI researchers. Its ability to perform many calculations in parallel made it ideal for training neural networks. Suddenly, Nvidia found itself at the center of the AI revolution. The company was quick to capitalize on this opportunity. They developed CUDA, a programming platform that made it easier for researchers to use GPUs for scientific computing and AI. They also created specialized hardware like the Tesla line of GPUs, designed specifically for data centers and AI applications. As AI began to transform industries from healthcare to autonomous vehicles, demand for Nvidia's products skyrocketed. The company's stock price followed suit, rising from around $15 in 2012 to over $700 in 2023. Nvidia's market value surpassed $1 trillion in 2023, making it one of the most valuable companies in the world. But Nvidia didn't stop there. They continued to innovate, releasing products like the DGX systems for AI researchers and the Drive platform for autonomous vehicles. They also made strategic acquisitions, such as Mellanox Technologies in 2020, which strengthened their position in data center networking. The COVID-19 pandemic further accelerated Nvidia's growth. As more people worked from home and turned to online entertainment, demand for gaming GPUs surged. At the same time, companies increased their investments in AI and cloud computing, driving up sales of Nvidia's data center products. In recent years, Nvidia has faced new challenges and opportunities. The rise of cryptocurrencies led to increased demand for GPUs for mining, causing shortages and price spikes. While this initially boosted Nvidia's sales, it also led to criticism from their core gaming audience. In response, Nvidia introduced specialized crypto mining processors and implemented measures to make their gaming GPUs less attractive for mining. The company has also expanded into new areas. In 2020, Nvidia announced plans to acquire ARM Holdings, a major designer of mobile chip architectures. While this deal ultimately fell through due to regulatory concerns, it signaled Nvidia's ambitions to expand beyond GPUs and into the broader chip market. As of 2024, Nvidia continues to dominate both the gaming and AI chip markets. Their latest GPUs, based on the Ada Lovelace architecture, offer unprecedented performance for gamers and content creators. In the AI space, their H100 data center GPUs are powering some of the most advanced AI models and applications. However, with great success comes great scrutiny. As Nvidia's influence grows, so do concerns about its market power. Competitors are ramping up their efforts to challenge Nvidia's dominance, and regulators are keeping a close eye on the company's practices. Despite these challenges, Nvidia's future looks bright. The company is well-positioned to benefit from the continued growth of AI, cloud computing, and advanced graphics applications. But as the tech landscape evolves rapidly, one question remains. Can Nvidia maintain its leadership position in the face of increasing competition and technological shifts? As we think about this question, let's turn our attention to the challenges that lie ahead for this tech giant. What storm clouds are gathering on Nvidia's horizon, and could they threaten the company's hard-won dominance? Challenges to Nvidia's dominance. Nvidia's rise to the top of the tech world has been nothing short of spectacular. But as any seasoned business leader will tell you, staying at the top can be even harder than getting there. Is the tech giant's golden age coming to an end? What challenges threaten to rain on Nvidia's parade? Let's start with the most obvious threat: increasing competition in the AI chip market. For years, Nvidia has enjoyed a near monopoly in this space. Their GPUs were the go-to choice for training and running AI models. But the landscape is changing rapidly. Tech giants like Google, Amazon, and Microsoft, who were once Nvidia's biggest customers, are now becoming their competitors. These companies have realized how crucial AI chips are to their businesses and have started developing their own. Google's Tensor Processing Units, or TPUs, and Amazon's Trainium chips are already being used in their data centers, potentially reducing their reliance on Nvidia's products. But it's not just the tech giants that Nvidia needs to worry about. Smaller, specialized AI chip companies are also entering the fray. Startups like Cerebras Systems and Graphcore are developing chips specifically designed for AI workloads. These chips promise better performance and energy efficiency than Nvidia's GPUs for certain AI tasks. While they haven't yet captured a significant market share, they represent a growing threat to Nvidia's dominance. Even in the gaming market, where Nvidia has long reigned supreme, competition is heating up. AMD, Nvidia's traditional rival, has made significant strides with its RDNA architecture. Some of AMD's latest graphics cards offer comparable performance to Nvidia's offerings at lower prices. This increased competition could put pressure on Nvidia's profit margins in the gaming segment. Another challenge Nvidia faces is the potential oversaturation of the GPU market. During the cryptocurrency boom, demand for GPUs skyrocketed as they were used for mining. This led to shortages and sky-high prices. However, as cryptocurrency prices have fallen and more efficient mining hardware has become available, the demand for GPUs in this sector has decreased. This has left Nvidia with excess inventory and could lead to decreased sales in the short term. The ongoing global chip shortage has also presented challenges for Nvidia. While high demand for their products is generally a good thing, supply chain issues have made it difficult for Nvidia to meet this demand. This has led to frustration among customers and could potentially push some towards competitors who can deliver products more quickly. Regulatory concerns and geopolitical tensions are another storm cloud on Nvidia's horizon. As the company has grown more powerful, it has attracted increased scrutiny from regulators around the world. In 2022, Nvidia's planned acquisition of ARM Holdings fell through due to regulatory concerns. This setback highlighted the challenges Nvidia may face as it tries to expand its business through acquisitions. Moreover, tensions between the United States and China have created complications for Nvidia. The US government has placed restrictions on the export of high-performance chips to China, one of Nvidia's largest markets. This has forced Nvidia to create special, lower-performance versions of its chips for the Chinese market, potentially impacting its sales and market position in this crucial region. The increasing focus on energy efficiency and environmental sustainability also poses a challenge for Nvidia. Their high-performance GPUs are known for their power hunger, which can be a concern in data centers trying to reduce their energy consumption and carbon footprint. If Nvidia can't improve the energy efficiency of its products quickly enough, it may lose ground to competitors offering more eco-friendly solutions. All these challenges have begun to reflect in Nvidia's stock performance and market perception. After reaching all-time highs in 2023, Nvidia's stock has shown increased volatility. Some investors and analysts have started to question whether the company can maintain its growth trajectory in the face of these headwinds. In early 2024, Nvidia reported its first quarterly revenue decline in several years. While the company attributed this to temporary factors like the crypto mining slowdown and global economic uncertainty, it raised questions about Nvidia's ability to continue its streak of consistent growth. However, it's important to note that Nvidia isn't taking these challenges lying down. The company has been investing heavily in research and development, working on next-generation GPU architectures and specialized AI chips. They've also been expanding their software offerings, recognizing that the combination of hardware and software will be crucial in maintaining their competitive edge. Nvidia has also been diversifying its business, pushing into new areas like autonomous vehicles, robotics, and the metaverse. Their Omniverse platform, which aims to be a foundation for the metaverse, shows that Nvidia is thinking beyond its traditional markets. The company has also been working on improving its supply chain resilience and expanding its manufacturing partnerships. This should help them better weather future supply disruptions and meet growing demand for their products. Despite these efforts, questions remain. Can Nvidia fend off the increasing competition in the AI chip market? Will they be able to maintain their leadership in gaming GPUs? How will regulatory scrutiny and geopolitical tensions impact their global operations? It is now clear that Nvidia is at a crucial juncture. The decisions they make in the next few years could determine whether they continue to dominate the GPU and AI chip markets, or whether they'll be overtaken by hungry competitors. But among all these competitors, one stands out as particularly threatening. A company known for its innovation, its loyal customer base, and its ability to disrupt entire industries. A company that has already shaken up the PC and mobile chip markets and now has Nvidia in its sights. That company is Apple. And as we'll see in the next section, their entry into the high-performance chip market could be Nvidia's biggest challenge yet. How is Apple's silicon strategy threatening Nvidia's position? And what could this mean for the future of computing? The Apple silicon threat. When we think of Nvidia's competitors, names like AMD and Intel usually come to mind. But there's a new player in town, one that's already shaken up the tech world more than once. That player is Apple. Known for its iPhones and Macs, Apple might seem like an unlikely threat to a company specializing in graphics and AI chips. But as we'll see, Apple's move into chip design could spell big trouble for Nvidia. How did we get here, and what does it mean for the future of computing? To understand the threat Apple poses, we need to go back to 2020. That's when Apple announced it would transition its Mac computers from Intel processors to its own custom-designed chips, called Apple Silicon. This wasn't just a small change. It was a seismic shift in the computer industry. Apple's first chip, the M1, shocked the tech world with its performance and energy efficiency. Macs with the M1 chip could outperform many Intel-based computers while using much less power. This was a big deal, but at the time it didn't seem like a direct threat to Nvidia. After all, Nvidia's strength was in high-performance graphics and AI, not general-purpose computing. But Apple didn't stop there. In 2021, they released the M1 Pro and M1 Max chips, which included much more powerful graphics capabilities. Suddenly, Apple's chips were competing with discrete GPUs from Nvidia in tasks like video editing and 3D rendering, and they were doing it while using less power and generating less heat. The real wake-up call for Nvidia came in 2022 with the release of Apple's M1 Ultra chip. This chip, which essentially combined two M1 Max chips into one, could outperform some of Nvidia's high-end GPUs in certain tasks, and it did this while still using less power than Nvidia's offerings. But how does this affect Nvidia's business? Well, it's not just about raw performance. Apple's chips are changing the way people think about computer architecture. Instead of having separate CPUs and GPUs, Apple's chips integrate everything into one package. This approach, known as a system-on-chip or SoC, can offer better performance and energy efficiency in many cases. This shift threatens Nvidia's business model. Nvidia has long sold GPUs as separate components that computer makers or end users add to their systems. But if more computer makers follow Apple's lead and start designing their own integrated chips, where does that leave Nvidia? The threat isn't limited to personal computers either. Apple has made it clear that they're interested in AI and machine learning. Their chips already include dedicated neural engines for AI tasks. While these aren't as powerful as Nvidia's specialized AI chips yet, they're improving rapidly with each generation. In 2023, rumors started circulating that Apple was working on its own large language models, similar to ChatGPT. If true, this could be a sign that Apple is planning to challenge Nvidia in the data center and AI markets as well. Imagine if Apple started selling powerful, energy-efficient AI chips to other companies. It could seriously disrupt Nvidia's fastest-growing business segment. But it's not just about hardware. Apple's strength has always been in creating tightly integrated systems where hardware and software work seamlessly together. This approach allows Apple to optimize performance in ways that other companies can't. For example, Apple's Metal Graphics API is designed specifically for their chips, allowing developers to squeeze every bit of performance out of the hardware. Nvidia, on the other hand, has to design chips that work with many different systems and software environments. This flexibility is a strength in many ways, but it can also be a weakness when competing against a more integrated approach. The impact of Apple's chips is already being felt in the market. In 2023, several high-profile companies announced they were switching their creative professionals from NVIDIA-powered Windows PCs to Apple's Mac Studios with M-series chips. These companies cited better performance, lower power consumption, and quieter operation as reasons for the switch. This trend is particularly concerning for NVIDIA because creative professionals have long been one of their core customer groups. If Apple continues to gain ground in this market, it could seriously hurt NVIDIA's bottom line. But Apple's threat to NVIDIA goes beyond just taking market share. Apple's success with chip design is inspiring other companies to follow suit. Google, Amazon, and Microsoft, all major NVIDIA customers, have been investing heavily in their own chip design efforts. If these companies can reduce their reliance on NVIDIA's chips, it could have a significant impact on NVIDIA's data center business. So how is NVIDIA responding to this threat? They're not standing still, that's for sure. NVIDIA has been pushing the boundaries of GPU design, with their latest chips offering unprecedented levels of performance. They've also been focusing more on software and complete solutions rather than just hardware. For example, NVIDIA's CUDA platform for GPU computing is widely used in the scientific and AI communities. This gives NVIDIA an advantage that Apple will find hard to match in the short term. NVIDIA has also been expanding into new markets like autonomous vehicles and the metaverse, areas where Apple hasn't yet made significant inroads. But perhaps NVIDIA's biggest advantage is its deep relationships with AI researchers and developers. Many of the most popular AI frameworks and tools are optimized for NVIDIA's hardware. This creates a network effect that could be difficult for Apple to overcome. Despite these advantages, the threat from Apple is real and growing. Apple has shown time and again that it can disrupt established markets. They did it with personal computers, they did it with smartphones, and now they're doing it with chips. Could NVIDIA be their next target? As we look to the future, many questions remain. Can Apple translate its success in personal computing chips to the high-performance worlds of AI and data centers? Will other companies follow Apple's lead and design their own chips, further threatening NVIDIA's position? And how will NVIDIA adapt to this changing landscape? The battle between NVIDIA and Apple is just beginning, and it promises to shape the future of computing in significant ways. But as Nvidia faces this new challenger, they're also dealing with changes in their existing partnerships. One relationship, in particular, has recently come to a dramatic end, sending shockwaves through the GPU industry. What happened between Nvidia and EVGA, one of their longest-standing partners? And what does this split tell us about Nvidia's business practices and future strategies? The EVGA Fallout. In the world of computer hardware, partnerships between chip designers and manufacturers are crucial. These relationships often last for decades, with both companies benefiting from each other's success. So when a long-standing partnership suddenly ends, it sends shockwaves through the industry. That's exactly what happened in September 2022 when EVGA, one of Nvidia's oldest and most respected partners, announced it was cutting ties with the GPU giant. But what led to this dramatic split? And what does it tell us about Nvidia's business practices? EVGA had been making Nvidia-based graphics cards since 1999, building a reputation for high-quality products and excellent customer service. They were one of Nvidia's biggest partners in North America, known for their overclocked GPUs and innovative cooling solutions. So when EVGA announced they were leaving the GPU business entirely, it caught everyone by surprise. The reasons behind the split were initially shrouded in mystery, but details soon emerged. EVGA's CEO, Andrew Han, cited disrespectful treatment from Nvidia as the main reason for the decision. But what did this disrespectful treatment involve? One major issue was pricing. EVGA claimed that Nvidia wasn't sharing information about new product prices until they were publicly announced. This made it difficult for EVGA to plan their own product lineup and pricing strategy. Another problem was the Founders Edition cards. These are graphics cards designed and sold directly by Nvidia, competing with the cards made by partners like EVGA. EVGA felt that Nvidia was undercutting them, selling Founders Edition cards at prices that EVGA couldn't match while still making a profit. But perhaps the biggest issue was control. Nvidia has strict rules about how its partners can design and market their graphics cards. This includes limits on how much they can modify the GPU's clock speeds and how they can promote their products. EVGA felt these restrictions were becoming too tight, limiting their ability to innovate and differentiate their products. The split between EVGA and Nvidia raises some important questions about Nvidia's relationship with its partners. Are other manufacturers facing similar issues? And could this be a sign of larger problems in Nvidia's business model? To answer these questions, we need to look at the bigger picture. Nvidia's dominance in the GPU market has given them a lot of power over their partners. They can set prices, control supply, and dictate terms to a large extent. While this has helped Nvidia maintain its market position, it's also created tension with some partners. Other manufacturers have expressed similar frustrations to those voiced by EVGA, although not as publicly. Some have complained about tight profit margins on graphics cards, especially for mid-range and lower-end models. Others have voiced concerns about Nvidia's increasing competition with its own partners through the Founders Edition cards. The EVGA split also highlights the risks of being too dependent on a single supplier. EVGA's decision to exit the GPU market entirely, rather than switch to making AMD graphics cards, shows how deeply intertwined their business was with Nvidia. This level of dependency can be risky for both the partner companies and for consumers who might have fewer choices as a result. But it's not all bad news for Nvidia. Many of their partners, including major players like Asus, MSI, and Gigabyte, continue to work with them. These companies have diversified product lines that include other components like motherboards and laptops, which may give them more leverage in their dealings with Nvidia. Still, the EVGA incident has raised concerns about the long-term sustainability of Nvidia's partner model. As Nvidia continues to grow and expand into new markets, will they be able to maintain healthy relationships with their partners? Or will we see more companies following EVGA's lead and breaking ties with the GPU giant? If more partners become dissatisfied, it could open the door for competitors like AMD to gain market share. It could also push Nvidia to change its business practices or even consider manufacturing all of its cards in-house, like Apple does with its chips. Finally, what path should Nvidia take from here? How can they adapt to the changing landscape of the tech industry while maintaining their leadership position? Adaptation or decline? As we've seen, Nvidia faces some serious challenges. From increased competition to partner disputes, the tech giant is navigating choppy waters. But what's next for Nvidia? Will they sink or swim in this new tech landscape? Let's explore Nvidia's potential paths forward and what they might mean for the future of computing. One exciting direction Nvidia is pursuing is the metaverse. You've probably heard this buzzword, but what does it really mean? The metaverse is a vision of a virtual world where people can work, play, and interact in 3D spaces. Nvidia's Omniverse platform is their bet on this future. It's a tool that lets developers create realistic 3D worlds and simulations. Could this be Nvidia's next big thing? Nvidia is also diving deeper into the world of autonomous vehicles. Their Drive platform is already used by many car manufacturers to develop self-driving cars. As cars become more like computers on wheels, Nvidia's expertise in fast, efficient computing could give them an edge. Imagine a future where your car's brain is powered by Nvidia. Another area where Nvidia is pushing boundaries is in artificial intelligence for healthcare. Their technology is being used to analyze medical images, discover new drugs, and even help in genetic research. But Nvidia isn't just looking at new markets. They're also rethinking their approach to their core business. One interesting move is their push into cloud gaming with GeForce Now. This service lets you play high-end games on any device by streaming them from powerful Nvidia servers. Nvidia is also investing heavily in software. They're creating tools and platforms that make it easier for developers to use their hardware. This could help lock in customers and make it harder for competitors to steal market share. However, Nvidia's path forward isn't without obstacles. They'll need to navigate tricky regulatory waters, especially as governments worldwide scrutinize big tech companies more closely. They'll also need to balance innovation with the needs of their partners and customers. Perhaps the biggest question facing Nvidia is whether they can maintain their culture of innovation as they grow larger. Many tech companies have struggled with this as they've expanded. Can Nvidia stay nimble and creative while also managing a massive global business? Whatever the future might hold, one thing's for sure: the story of Nvidia is far from over. As they navigate these challenges and explore new opportunities, they'll continue to push the boundaries of what's possible with computing. And for tech enthusiasts and industry watchers alike, it promises to be an exciting journey to watch. So, what do you think? Is Nvidia truly losing the market race? Are we witnessing the beginning of a downfall for this tech giant, or is this just a temporary setback in their journey to even greater heights? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below with your predictions for Nvidia's future. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps us out. And if you want to stay up to date with the latest in tech industry, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. We've got plenty more videos coming your way.